From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. President-elect Joe Biden continues to map out his administration, even as President Trump insists that he won the election. Some key Republicans say the White House needs to cooperate with Biden's transition team for the sake of national security. CBS News' Natalie Brand begins our coverage.
Several more Republican lawmakers have joined in calling for President-elect Joe Biden to begin receiving top-level intelligence briefings.
Just as a matter of protecting our nation's interests, I do think that both the president and his competition here, Vice President Biden, should have access to those classified reports.
But that can't happen without the approval of the General Services Administration. GSA officials say they will wait until the election results are certified. Oklahoma Senator James Lankford says he'll intervene on Friday if the high-level intelligence reports are still being withheld from Biden.
Both sides should be receiving briefings just like they were before.
As President Trump continues to challenge the election results and as of yet refuses to concede, former President Barack Obama called it a dangerous path in a report that will air on 60 Minutes this Sunday.
They appear to be motivated in part because the president doesn't like to lose and never admits loss. I'm more troubled by the fact that other Republican officials who clearly know better are going along with this.
President-elect Biden left Wilmington, Delaware today to head to his vacation home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, where he'll continue to work on transition planning. After naming his longtime advisor Ron Klain to be his chief of staff, the president-elect is now mulling other key jobs in his administration. He spoke by phone with Democratic congressional leaders on Thursday.
Biden's won. Nothing Republicans or Trump can do will change that.
Advisors to President Trump tell CBS News Mr. Trump has openly discussed the possibility of running in 2024 as allies work to keep his options open. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
And also just in the last 15 minutes, both CBS and CNN are now projecting Joe Biden to be the winner of Arizona. Well, leaders of the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, and the National Association of State Election Directors, among others, released a joint statement today calling the presidential election the most secure in American history, despite President Trump's claim that it was stolen. Now, I talked to Montana's senior U.S. Senator, Democrat Jon Tester, this afternoon. Tester says he believes all votes do need to be counted, but he says that the courts have seen no evidence of fraud. He calls the peaceful transfer of power critical to our democracy.
Well, first of all, I think it's very, very unfortunate. I think that one of the hallmarks of our democracy has been a peaceful transfer of power. The president's been talking about a rigged election now since he got elected back in 2016. And I will tell you, at some moment in time, the facts have to fall forth. And I think it is time for the president to understand that this is a democracy. Peaceful transfer of power is critically important, and we need to move forth. And why I say it's a bit disturbing is because there are folks that want to do harm to this country. And the transfer of power needs to be done in an orderly way so that people can get educated and be brought up to speed on what's going on internationally and domestically when it comes to threats to this country. And that's just a start. And right now, that's not being allowed to happen. And that is not how this country works.
Now, we did put in a request to talk to Montana's Republican Senator Steve Daines. We're told he won't be available till next week, so we do hope to hear from him then. The old Carmike Theater on Overland Avenue will soon be an event center. Close by, a new hotel is being built. Q2's David J. talked with the developer about his future businesses.
Crews have been working for about 4.5 months on what will be the 137-room Courtyard by Marriott.
The Marriott Courtyard is the business hotel. Primary function is to serve business guests, and they will have a restaurant in it.
Hotel construction has started there in the background, and it's two separate projects. One is a hotel, the other is this event center or conference center.
Intent of the event center is to provide facilities for a wide range of events. In the new addition, that event center will take heavy equipment, so you could have a farm equipment event.
The event center will have the latest technology.
This will be a high-tech convention center with really kind of state-of-the-art everything. We have spent and will be spending quite a bit of money on sound as well as light. That attracts people. The accommodations will be very nice. They'll be new.
And the event center and the hotel will be separate businesses that benefit from each other.
A little bigger than you'd normally build, particularly in Montana. But 137 was set so that we do have some extra space, so to speak, to assist with convention goers. There are numerous other hotels, obviously, that will benefit from it.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Thank you, David. And Veter says that COVID-19 has slowed construction, and at this time he can't give a good estimate as to when he expects to have those two buildings finished. Well, a man accused of fleeing to Idaho after a fatal shooting here in Billings says he's not guilty. 37-year-old Benyel Davis appeared by video in Yellowstone County District Court this morning. Authorities say he shot 30-year-old Waylon Bearground in the early morning hours of November 1st outside of an apartment on King Avenue East. Bearground's parents, who had driven him to the apartment, then took him to the hospital where he died. After the shooting, court documents state that Davis fled to Idaho. He was arrested in Coeur d'Alene on November 3rd and told authorities that that shooting was in self-defense. His bond was set at $500,000. All right, Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire joining us now. Bob, winter has already made quite a few stops here in Montana. How much snow have we seen?
You know, we picked up another inch just yesterday, about 3/4 of an inch anyway. But let me show you. We went through right since July 1. That's where we went back. And then we didn't have any snow in July, thankfully. But, hey, we did have some in October. And look at this. Right up until today, we are at 23.7 inches of snowfall. Now, that's 16.3 inches ahead of average for this time of year. Last year, we only had 14 inches of snow. Meanwhile, over in Glasgow, they had 16.8 inches of snow ahead of the average. They're 13.8 inches ahead of average. Last year they had 9.9. Over in Lewistown they had 25.8 inches, and that put them 18.2 inches ahead of normal. Last year they had 11.7. Look at Great Falls, 41.6 inches of snow so far this year. That means they're 33.5 inches ahead of normal, but last year they were pretty darn close to it, 40.1 inches of snow. Remember, they had a lot of snow last year as well. Anyway, our forecast looks like we might see a couple of flurries. We'll chat about that in a few more minutes.
All right, thank you, Bob. The 6th Street underpass in Billings has a whole new look that is bound to get your attention. Q2's Shaquille Kozark met up with the artist and the people who helped bring the Rise and Shine mural to reality.
If your daily commute in Billings involves driving below the 6th Street underpass, then I'm sure you've seen the progression of the Rise and Shine mural. Well, the mural that highlights animals one might see in Montana, landscapes, and of course, the big sky is now complete.
Yes, the mural started in the spring with the design planning, but we started painting the actual mural the 1st of August. I have been working on it pretty much every day without a day off ever since. So it took over 100 days, over 1,000 hours.
And Lineker says that during the 100 days and 1,000 hours, the support from the community shined through. She received waves, honks, donations, and she was even offered free drinks and tacos out of car windows. To this day, she has reported around 100 separate events where people showed her random acts of kindness.
My original goal was to make a difference in just one person's day, but it has exploded and been so much more than that.
We had so much support from the community the whole way through. And so the task force, the Big Sky Economic Development, and the community at large is really, and of course Alyssa, are really the team that put this together.
So I just wanted to go over a few of the favorite parts of this mural, and I want you to tell me a little bit more about this. What are we looking at here?
This is probably my favorite part just because I utilized the natural slope of to make the elk kind of look like they're walking down the hill toward traffic. And it has those really vibrant colors that inspire feelings of positivity that I hope will make somebody's day a little brighter.
All right, that was Shaquille Kozart reporting. Still to come on the MTN 10 o'clock news here on Q2. Governor Bullock makes an impassioned plea for all Montanans to step up and help flatten the curve as hospitals around the state near a breaking point. And in sports, just 2 days away from perhaps the biggest game in the 70-year rivalry history of Central and Laurel, we're going to hear from the Locomotives.